everyone, Matt here with Moesif to show you how to integrate Moesif with Stripe. If you want to start creating billing meters, you're going to need a billing provider, and that billing provider can then handle the invoicing and the actual charging of the customers. A really popular way to do that is to use Stripe. So when it comes to monetizing APIs, Stripe and Moesif work really well together. Setting up this integration is actually quite easy. So what we'll do is, if you log into the Moesif application, you come to billing meters, then there's a couple ways that you can do this. The easiest way is just come up to Edit Billing Provider and then click Stripe. From here, you're going to see that we have some Stripe integration steps. All of it is relatively easy to do. So the first thing that we'll do is add the webhook in Stripe. I'm going to copy this endpoint here, come over to Stripe. I'm in test mode currently. If you want to do this in production mode, you can. I'm going to do it in test mode. Click Developers. Come over to webhooks. You can see that I've already got a couple created. What I'll do is add endpoint. Endpoint URL is here, so I'll paste that. And under the description, I'll put Moesif webhook. I'll say for monetization. Now, what I need to do also is select which events I want to listen to. Now you could select all events if you wanted to. However, the only ones that we actually need are customer, and we can select all customer events and then do add events. Then we'll scroll down to the bottom and click add endpoint. At this point, we now have the webhook portion set up. I'm going to come back over to my Moesif screen here. And our next step is to actually plug in our Stripe API key. Now to get that, come over here, back to Stripe, we can click API keys. There's a few different ways that you could do this. So you could create a restricted key, which gives limited access to the platform. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my secret key here, which will give the platform full access. I do click to copy, grab this, bring it back over here, paste it into Moesif. And now the last part you'll see is set ID mapping. Now by default, what we'll do is we'll map company ID in Moesif to the subscription ID in Stripe and the user ID in Moesif to the customer ID in Stripe. However, if your company ID in Moesif was going to sit in a different field, for instance, a lot of people will do stuff like this, where they'll do metadata.company ID. If you're storing the matching value in subscription.metadata.whatever, you just want to make sure that you set up that mapping correctly. If you follow many of the monetization tutorials that you'll see on our site, most of it is set up to work this way. There are a few that we have that we've tweaked this on. If you do want to know more about that, it's quite easy to configure and we do have lots of documentation on it. Lastly, we want to make sure that we have extension enabled. So being able to toggle this on and off, we want to make sure it's toggled to on, and then we'll click save. Action successfully performed. So I will exit out of this now, up to the top. Now just to make sure that everything's working correctly for us, let's do add a billing meter. And when I select billing provider, you'll see Stripe no longer has the plus beside it. Stripe is configured, and I should be able to pull products and prices for those products that I've configured. Now, if you want to know more about how to set up the Stripe side of things, all of our monetization guides, which are published on our blog, as well as a few on our tutorials pages, will show you exactly how to set things up correctly. The biggest thing to remember is that the product and price have to be set up for metering. That's really the only caveat to it. And with that, you've set up the integration between Moesif and Stripe, and you can start monetizing your APIs and your product. And that's all for now. Check out our other monetization content that we have on moesif.com, and in the coming while, you'll see other monetization videos that you can follow step by step.